Well, here we are, folks. Gab and Dad sitting by the warm holiday fire, having a wonderful time. But now we're going to do what for me is the most enjoyable part of our yearly activity, the whole year, which is picking the worst films. Right?
Yeah, it's not hard.
Starting with number 3, working up to the climactic number 1.
Yes.
Why don't you go first with your what?
Yes.
With your number 3.
Okay. Thank you. I just first want to add a little sort of a footnote to the proceedings that Gab and Dad try to avoid seeing bad films. So when it comes to choosing bad films, it's still not hard to do, but we have to acknowledge that there were much worse films this year than we're going to mention. Of course, if you say, well, how could you not mention
Like After Dark Horrorfest 4, I think is probably worse.
That's one that stands out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is obviously just based on what we've seen. We would never.
And we've seen some bad films.
And we still managed to see some bad ones. Accidentally. So there you go. Just
we don't say, boy, this is going to be a really bad film. Let's go see it.
Yeah, exactly.
We get taken by surprise. We get bushwhacked.
You do. So just wanted to, throw that in there, obvious statement.
Unless you think we just go out seeing bad films for the hell of it.
Not on purpose. So,
your number 3.
My number 3, worst film that was definitely unintentional. I thought it was going to be good, but it wasn't. Monsters.
Monsters. I see. Would you like to tell us something about Monsters?
Well,
or do you want me to do that?
Watch our review.
Because Monsters is my number 3 too.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
Oh God, what can you say about Monsters?
I say it was a surprise because I thought it looked intriguing. I thought it had a bit of a district drama to it. It got some good reviews. It was one of these sort of indie, artsy, low budget, and so it
very
looked
low
like it could
budget.
have been interesting.
It looks like it was shot for about 12 cents.
Max could have done it.
Yeah.
Max could have done better. And it was just such a disappointment. It was a snooze fest.
Boring,
it was stupid.
So dull.
It had nothing
nonsensical,
to
and with really bad monsters in it.
Hardly any, and and they were bad. And a lot of the critics were, part of the praise was that the budget was low and it was a first time movie. I don't care if it's not a good movie. It's cheap, it's expensive, it's this, it's that. It was boring. It was disappointing. It was stupid.
It was stupid. So why did it get some good reviews? Because it did.
Oh, budget, independent.
Is that film. Kind of like a reverse?
He made it on his laptop.
Is it like a reverse?
Yeah,
snobism,
in a way, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're
snobby, so we hate it.
All right. Number 2.
That was your number 3 too.
That was my number 3.
Okay. So our number 3 best film matched as well.
Yes, we did. That's right.
But now we probably part ways. You probably haven't seen my number 2, and I didn't review it because it was just so. The Backup Plan.
Never even heard of it.
Romantic comedy. Exactly. Starring Jennifer Lopez. Single woman decides she wants a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Gets artificially inseminated on the same day that she meets the love of her life.
Oh, give me a break.
And it was just...
What a horrible
It was
plot
nauseating.
idea.
It was, unoriginal, insulting story and plot. Terrible, funny, painfully
Who played the man?
unfunny.
Who's the male lead?
Alex O'Loughlin, who had
Who's
absolutely...
What's he doing now? Selling used cars?
He's on Hawaii Five-0, the TV show. Absolutely no chemistry, the two main romantic leads, and so the whole proceeding was painful,
Did it die at the box
insulting.
office?
It wasn't a big hit, but it wasn't a flop either. It was sort of middle of the road. So, I mean, whoever went to see this on their date night and thought it was going to be, no. It was just...
Well, I don't think on your date night you go to a film about artificial insemination.
Well, there is that basic flaw in the romantic comedy plot, which is another problem. And yeah, I hated it from top to bottom.
All right, my number 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Ever in your life?
It's just catastrophically boring. So boring. It's unbelievable. It's one of the few occasions I can ever remember when I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to walk out of this film.
Ooh, but did you?
No, I didn't, because it's kind of hard. You have to shuffle past people eating popcorn to get up to it. It's a really bad film. Really, really, really bad. The Tourist.
Oh!
With Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie.
I didn't see that.
It's amazingly dull.
It's that bad?
Oh, it's terrible. Boring and dull.
How can Johnny Depp be boring?
I can't help it. I know, I was very surprised. The reason I went to see it with Cynthia, your booby, because we'd recently been in Venice, and the film is shot in Venice. Yeah. I thought, well, Venice alone will carry the day for us.
Well, so didn't it? No.
No! You know, I mean, if you go to have root canal work and there happens to be a picture of Venice hanging in the dentist's office, that doesn't do it. It was really bad. I cannot imagine what they thought they were doing.
They didn't have any chemistry. There was none.
Zero chemistry. Johnny Depp
was
was sleepwalking through the whole movie. Angelina Jolie was kind of freaky looking. She looked like she'd been kind of built in somebody's basement. You know, I mean, it was terrible.
It has pretty much bombed.
And so it should.
I don't think
read in the paper that in the movie
reviews,
business now there's a flight to quality. That the studios are catching on to the fact that really bad movies actually don't do well at the box office.
It's only about how many years too late on that.
Yeah, they're a little late on that. Yeah.
Wow,
so
interesting.
that's a real
I'm glad I
sticker.
didn't see
Do
it.
not see The Tourist if you've seen it already. My condolences.
There you go. So we're down to my number one pick for the worst movie of the year. You also didn't see it, luckily, but Max reviewed it. Furry Vengeance.
Never heard of that. Furry Vengeance.
Furry Vengeance.
I don't like the title.
Well, there you go. The end. It's a kids movie, and I'm loath to pick children's movies to be too critical because it's a different. Obviously, it's a lower denominator audience, if I could put it that way. It's a whole different criteria about what makes a good children's movie or not. But this one was painfully acted by Brendan Fraser. I mean, God, I just felt the whole time. I just felt for that guy. You know, nice enough, decent actor, and I just thought this poor guy who's been brought down to this. And that was the main thing I took away from that film, which is really sad. And you know, the whole animals talking.
I hate animals talking.
And animals versus
should shut up.
But the worst part was that it sort of tried to have this environmental message, which completely broke down and was just
wait a minute! I need my.
Exactly. Painful from top to bottom, insulting even to children. Well, Max liked it, but he's just a kind-hearted soul, unlike myself, who I say it sucked the most of the year. And you know, so just, oh God, Furry.
All right, now we should do number one because we're running out of time.
Okay.
So my worst movie of 2010, you ready for this? Is Transformers 2. Now, I know you're going to tell me that was not a 2010 film.
Qualify.
But this film was so overwhelming in its terribleness that I think it's established itself as the worst film of all time.
For you.
And therefore, including this time, 2010, and I firmly anticipate that it'll be my worst movie for next year, 2011.
Well, that's optimistic that there won't be anything that bad next year. That you don't have anything else you'd like to throw in there, honorable mention?
If I hadn't picked Transformers 2,
which you shouldn't have,
it would be The Tourist, which I think is about a bad a film as you can make without using special effects.
Well,
although Angelina Jolie is a special effect, in my opinion. But anyway.
Well, okay, I have an honorable mention, which I disqualified myself. I said my number one, Furry Vengeance.
Oh yes,
Try to keep. Oh God. My honorable mention, I disqualified it. Would have been my number one, but I was actually trying to follow some rules, unlike you, because I saw this film at the Toronto International Film Festival, but it has not yet been theatrically released. It got me tongue-tied. So I didn't think it really counted. But for me, of all the movies I saw this year, this was the worst. The Ward. John Carpenter's The Ward. Watch my review if you need to know why. Oh my God. So,
I think we've run out of time.
The worst of the year.
So there you have it. Stay tuned for 2011. We will be reviewing all films, good, bad, and indifferent.
Well, not all films.
Well, no, some films.
As many as we can. We're partners now.
We're YouTube partners. We're just about hitting the 1,600 subscriber mark.
Coming up to 2-year anniversary. 2011 is going to be big.
It's going to be big.
Lots of big bombs.
Thank you for watching. Big. And I think it's totally time to turn the fire off.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.